Rascals used to wore those for years.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, look at it, Mikey. It's you and I on freakish fractures Friday.
We've already got the Young Rascals playing our break song. Good.
I ain't gonna eat out my flag anymore.
Not anymore.
Anymore. Oh man. So how are you, pal?
All's well. I got no complaint. Well, our television went out.
Uh-oh.
That presents a visual problem. We still have a one in the bedroom.
Well,
Um,
you go in the bedroom, watch a little TV,
take a break.
take a break, lie in bed, do a little John and Yoko. The whole bedroom thing worked for them, right?
All we are saying is give peace a chance.
They were in bed for a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, and they have better success than Mario Rubio and Jared Kushner and Ludnick, the idiot.
Well, it's not hard to have success when you are earnest, and you got to believe that they believe what they would believe in. I'm not sure that Rubio and company, or should I say, little Marco,
we little Marco
believes in what he's saying.
He can believe it until Trump disagrees with him, and then he doesn't believe it anymore. He'll believe what he's being asked to believe.
And that's a young man that's going to come up with some conflict, I think, here in the near future, because I truly believe that when this Iran stuff is over, or at least tamped down a bit, that Trump is going to go after Cuba. And, little Marco has, that's roots, man. So he's going to have to go against his whole freaking country.
And all the supporters in South Florida, where the Cuban population is.
I think the supporters in South Florida want Trump to. I think that's why he's doing it.
Well,
I think they want him.
They've just not been paying attention, because everything he turns his hand to turns to mud, turns to shit, turns to a terrible story, a terrible ending to yet another chapter in a terrible story.
Well, yeah, I would agree with you. It's funny because not funny, but it's odd, because I thought I would think that I would think that if the United States made an action on Cuba, and did something about Cuba, that it would be something to improve their lot. And as bad as things are in Cuba, I don't know that I'm convinced that Trump taking over the country would be good for Cuba.
There's no help that Trump can offer to any element on earth that would improve their lot. He's incapable of making things better.
Not a country with dark people.
How can he help? How can he help Norway?
Yeah,
they've already got the Euro thing down. They don't need any help.
He's all over it. With rich people, he's all over it. But if there's unless
if they're willing to pay their way, if they're willing to pay the freight, there's a charge for just talking to him and just having him considering your lot, and it concerns cash, and you got to pay before you play, which is why Ukraine's not getting any help for us. They can't pay for it. They're supposed to pay us in advance.
No,
then we'll send them a missile.
See, I don't know that. I don't think that that's it really at all with him. I think it's much more the fact that Zelensky has stood up to him. Zelensky wouldn't play ball with him when he wanted Zelensky to
capitulate
to the whole Biden thing. I think I don't know that it's got anything to do with him playing or paying to play or anything. I just think that that he's a revengeful bastard, and he and this is the one of the ways he can exact revenge out of Zelensky, but it's backfired on him because the Europeans have said, you know what, we got your back, brother. We'll take care of you. Screw the United States. We'll
They're short on missiles. The European Union's going to have to come up with some missiles, so that it has something more than just drones to shoot at Moscow.
Well, it's to watch that set to watch what Ukraine has been able to do over the past, what is this now, 5 years?
We're into the fifth year. It's been 4 years.
It's amazing. I mean, everybody in the world thought that Russia was going to go in there and steamroll over them in 2 weeks.
That was the prediction.
And they have held their own, and then some.
Keep this in mind: Russia can't beat Ukraine. The United States can't beat Iran. Those are in the same years. Those are two outcomes that would have never been predicted, and now that's going to be the future of clashes with superpowers and lesser countries to measure themselves by. We're going to be Ukraine. We're going to be Iran. Will we tell the Ruskies and the Americans to go fuck themselves and don't let the door hit you on the way out? Thanks for the missiles. Thanks for nothing. We can beat you. We can close the straits. We can bomb Kyiv. We can sustain damage to Moscow apartment buildings. Things that were never considered possibilities.
Yeah, it really seems like, war is on a different terms now. War is not what it used to be.
The last war of conquest was World War II. There's not been a war of conquest since 1945.
Yeah, we certainly. I mean, I don't know how you want to term Korea.
Stalemate, push.
Yeah, push at best. And a lot of people will say something that we should have never got involved in. Vietnam was a fiasco. And everything we've done since then.
Minimal returns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Iraq turned out to be a mess.
It's still a mess. What we did to that country is still preventing us from joining.
What was it, Kuwait?
Mm-hmm.
And Iraq at that point, I don't know, the first Desert Storm or whatever that was. I mean, yeah,
the highway to Baghdad was open and we didn't take it. We had to stop, demilitarize the area, and then start all over again, going after Saddam Hussein and his weapons of mass destruction, which did not exist.
Right, which Bush 1 should have taken care of, and you wouldn't have had that problem. He had the opportunity.
The road to Baghdad was open.
Yeah, and never took it. So yeah, I don't know. Do you want to count getting rid of Noriega in Panama and Venezuela? As victories. I don't think they're victories. I think they're just regime change. The only difference is we used to do it with the CIA and the different operatives, go in there and do it under the table.
Destabilize it.
Send the troops in.
Well, the interesting thing about Venezuela is when it's war, we go down overnight, we send everybody, and the job is done. The president is arrested and taken to Cuba, put in Gitmo, and we say that the job is done. But when they have 2 earthquakes back to back, and the people need help, and the people need the United States, the people need our care and our concern and our help. Sorry, no habla español.
Yeah,
can't help you, motherfucker.
Well, I thought that little Marco was put in charge of that, wasn't he? Well, I thought he was the guy that was supposed to be be practicing to be president by running that country.
Well, the bad story, the nightmare of Donald Trump helping you, is best illustrated right with that example then of Venezuela. We're here to help you. You're not going to see the help. You're not going to feel the help. You're not going to be able to measure it. Just trust us. We're here to help you. And what that amounts to is Donald Trump saying he's going to help you, then you're never going to hear from him again. That's the kind of help we provide. It's quick, it's easy, and it's over in an instant and never to be renewed or revisited or fixed. We said we help you. We'll say to anyone who asks us that we did help you, but you're going to see nothing from us. Nothing.
Well, that's a sad. I don't know. That's just a sad thing. But I've been thinking about this, and I know we want to get our Trump stuff out of the way and our anger out of the way, and that stuff out of the way. But it is the nation's 250th anniversary. It's strangely weird that I remember how much we celebrated, how much of a celebration there was before the 200th. Remember that? I mean, there was the tall ships, and there was the fireworks, and there was, people were really proud, and really, there was a feeling of patriotism.
What can change in 50 years
around the country, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't see and feel that same feeling that there was, or even anything close to it, that there was in 1976. Now granted, I was in New York, and New York was kind of the epicenter of the whole celebration. New York and Philadelphia. We tried. They tried to put on this fair in Washington, and Trump and his people managed to screw it all up.
That's my theme for today. Anything he turns his hand to. And they had a committee, an executive committee in place that had been there since the 50 years they've been planning this next one. They had a group, they had finances, they had $100 million that Trump siphoned out of their coffers. They were going to have the national celebrations. They were all planned. Trump canceled all that. Fucked over the committee, took away all their power, took away their money, took away their initiative, took away what they had done, took away all the events that had been planned, canceled them, scheduled their own. They set up a parallel financing committee that was separate and apart from the official committee, and ruined all the preparations that had been in place for years for the 250th. They did it purposely to strip them of their finances and of their power, and ruined it for everyone. They have Kid Rock and video displays that don't work, and people not showing up. No big play, no big
event. The stage falling down. I mean, it's a mess.
And the reflecting pool right in the middle of it it's got a big cyclone fence around it. People that touch the water are arrested on felony charges.
That's amazing to me. That alone, the fact that you would arrest people for touching the pool is tells you a lot, doesn't it? You're not allowed to congregate in front of the Lincoln Memorial. Now, every time I've been to Washington, every time that I've seen pictures of the Lincoln Memorial, there is always people from other countries, people standing in front of that Lincoln Memorial and looking up at it, because it really is, that and the Washington Monument are the symbols of our country. especially the Lincoln Memorial, especially it's just such a place for people to gather and people to look up at it and people to be proud of this country.
But don't you agree that it's a great place to be arrested if you haven't committed a crime,
Well, now it is.
taken
They've
in
turned
by
it
the
into it. They've turned it into Moscow. They've turned it into
Tiananmen Square?
yeah. If you're going to go there and you're going to stand there, they're going to arrest you. For 100 years, people felt free to go to Washington and stand in front of that memorial and gather in that park and walk around there and feel like they had come to Washington and were truly a part of the country. It was a school trip for many people on the East Coast. It was a summer vacation. It was, I mean, I can't tell you how many times my father threw us in the car and went down to Washington, D.C. for a weekend to walk around and to show us the cradle of government. And now you can be arrested. That same reflecting pool, that same pool that people would stick their feet in the summer would touch the water. It was almost like when you went to church and you stuck your hand in the holy water. You know, it was almost like a baptism of you becoming an American or you being an American. You put your hand in that water and you touched yourself. And uh, the famous scene of in Forrest Gump of Jenny running through it was Forrest running through the pool to find Jenny. I mean, that is our water. It's not the government's water. It's not put there for them to tell us not to touch it. And yet they want to arrest people that sit next to it. And they have armed army troops, National Guard troops with automatic weapons. And you're
Yeah.
right.
Trump's hand-picked executioner judge, Jeannie Pirro, is going through the motions with her mad delivery. She seems to be a terribly disturbed woman. There's something really seriously wrong with her and her medical condition.
Well, they don't know how to be tough, Michael. They think tough is the loudest person in the room. That's what
She might be the loudest.
That's what they perceive as tough. Is you talk out of the side of your mouth, and you act like you're a gangster. And it's at least I know that the rest of this country isn't like that.
I think you're
That
right.
that
Couldn't be.
that is a piece of what Washington, what that section, that piece that runs the country is like. But once you get out of there, once you get to Pittsburgh, once you get to Philadelphia, once you get to New York City, Schenectady, once you get to Cleveland, that it's different. The people are different. They're not like them. Now, the media loves to focus on it because people look at it and they go, oh my God, one way or the other. It gets people excited. But tonight, when I walk down to the celebration that you're going to have here, the fireworks and stuff, I'm not going to be thinking about Donald Trump and his reflecting pool. Only a fool would go there. Who wants to stand in the middle of the National Guard? Now, 20 years ago, I would have went there. Would have been kind of cool because they used to have that concert, and Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, or the Beach Boys, or Linda Ronstadt, or Emmylou Harris, or some. They would bring them out and they would perform, and you'd feel good about American music.
But now good artists won't play for him.
But people don't want anything to do with him because he's got a reputation. He has brought in the reputation of the ugly American to everyone in the world.
And he can't be trusted to get the stage and the lights and the sound and the preparation and the gate, the tickets and the entire concert environment. He can't handle it. He can't manage it.
You can't be trusted to get a basic thing like getting paid, even if you're doing it on a volunteer basis for your roadies, for your people, for your expenses to be paid. You can't even count on it.
You can count on problems arising. I don't know how many times he stiffed Kid Rock. What's it going to take for him to figure it out?
Well, I don't think that. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of brain cells going on there, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to figure anything out.
What the hell's this show about anyway?
His show is about the guy who's driving the pickup truck, who comes across 4 lanes to get to his exit because he almost missed it because he was probably, listening to Kid Rock.
Lee Greenwood.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for God blessing the USA, but I can't imagine God listens to Lee Greenwood and says, all right, I'm going to bless the USA again. He probably goes, oh, this guy again?
Where are the Dixie Chicks?
Yeah. Luckily, we don't, I don't think that plays out here. I don't think it even play. I don't even think it plays in Texas, to be honest with you. I think they're kind of sick of it too. I think that they're sick of seeing these things that are supposed to be joyous symbols of our country,
representative of the event and the history and the.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of a fair, a national fair to celebrate our country, well, I think was a great idea. I think it would have been very cool for people to come to Washington and look around and see the cradle of our government. But what do they see? They see a White House that's half destroyed. They hear a president who gets up there and, lies for an hour. So much so that people got up and walked out of the speech. Countless videos of people walking out of the speech. And you know what? It all lays on one person. He should just leave it alone. Let people run it that know what they're doing. But instead, we just have this this forced enthusiasm. And, on top of it, it's pretty interesting that the World Cup seems to me to be getting much more attention from corporate America, from the advertisers. If you go to McDonald's, can you get an America 250 cup with your Coca-Cola, with your iced tea? No. What do you get? You get a World Cup. If you go to different companies that have bought into, they want to have some part of an event, many more crowds are going to the World Cup stuff.
And the visitors from around the world are having a great time here. And they're saying the food's great, the people are great, the venue's great, the field is great. We're having a good time.
Yeah,
we're winning, and everyone's doing the row now, the Norwegian row.
Yeah, the Viking thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's.
It started with just Norway. Now, if a country wins, they do the row.
Yeah, they had a thing. They had a bunch of them. Was it last week? I guess they had a bunch of them last week at Safeco at the ballpark, and they
in
were a bunch
Seattle.
of them were sitting in a row, and they were doing a row.
Seattle crowds have been great.
You know, Pioneer Square the other night was
Was ripping.
they had a big show down there. Was it before the game or after the game? I forget. I think it was between games, and they had a great time. The smart thing that they did, and I mean, it's
Selling beer on the
stop the clock
sidewalk.
is right 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Is they left the people coming into the country alone. They didn't. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard of many instances. I think there was that one coach that couldn't get in from Somalia, and there was, I think, one other person that I saw that couldn't get in, but they didn't place ICE people at the airports. Or if they did, they kept them out of sight. They didn't have them standing there with automatic weapons. Um, the airport has run smooth, so people tell me that work there that I know. It hasn't been this. I mean, I've gone through the border now 2 times since the World Cup has been on, and it was easy to go through. No hassle whatsoever. Everybody was saying, "Oh, it'll take you a half hour to get through the border," and everything went right through.
It's funny how the border in Tijuana is always deep with cars and there's always delays every day of the week. The border with Canada is always easy peasy.
Well, there's more people going from Tijuana to San Diego,
Right.
or whatever it is, Chula, whatever the town is there. But there's so many more people. Number one. Number two, I think there's more drug smuggling that goes on down there than there is going from Canada to the United States. Now, I'm not saying that I know about that because I don't, but it just seems that it just seems that there's just less people going through, and less people again because less Canadians are coming to the United States because of Trump's um,
Existence.
inability to be a neighbor,
Can't do
inability to
it.
be a good person, inability to leave shit alone.
We're not neighbors and we're not friends. Understand that.
Well, we are neighbors and we are friends, and he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand the simple principle that we have this relationship with Canada, and maybe he does understand it. Maybe he
No.
just wants to leave his mark. But um, the border people have told me that there are, because I asked when I was coming back to the country, I, is there less people coming through? There are, it's less people. Again, Saturday night last, when I came back from Canada, from going up to White Rock, 10-minute wait at the border. Now, normally on a Saturday night in the summer, bookending a holiday weekend, there would be an hour at least, both ways. People going up, people coming back. Especially close to July 4th, Canadians love to come to the United States. Now, I don't know if the Canadians have decided not to come for the Blue Jays, but that'll be an interesting look to see if they they do. If they come down.
A little baseball and apple pie.
No, people again, they're pissed off at the United States. They're not pissed off at the people in the United States, but they're pissed off at the United States. And it's sad because what should have been a time where we should have had pride in this country and been able to outwardly show it. Another thing, Michael, is that I remember in 1976, if you displayed the flag, it was a symbol for all Americans. Whether you were a peacenik or you weren't, or you loved the country or you didn't love it so much, people still rallied behind the flag. Yes, some people burned the flag, which I never really agreed with. But now the flag has been co-opted by MAGA. Like they own the flag. If you display the flag, you should be displaying a Trump flag alongside it. And again, they've taken a symbol of our country and politicized it. And I think that's it. I got a flag outside my place. I'm proud of the flag. I'm with all the crap that's going on. I'm still proud of this country. I'm ashamed of some of the things we do. I'm ashamed that we bomb schools. I'm ashamed that we support an administration in Israel that, has destroyed the Gaza Strip. But I know that that's not in what's in the heart of Americans. Or at least I don't think it is. Maybe it is, and I'm all wrong. But that's what America is all about, right? Is you're supposed to be able to feel the way you feel.
You always get a guy in a cowboy hat to stand behind Donald Trump and smile and applaud at anything and everything he says. They're not filtering the content. They're not reacting in real time to what he really says. They're just endorsing it. And those are the 30% of the brainless sycophants that, if they were in greater numbers, would gladly give him power again to run illegally for a third term, screw up the vote if he can, minimize the traditions of the nation, and maximize the chaos that he creates around them. And there's no shortage of that. It's poisonous and it's evil, and it's his greatest gift to America. The chaos and the evilness that he brought with him and brings to headlines and the federal government every day. There's no shortage of that shit. He's got a lot of it. He's got endless, boundless evil that he intends to share with the rest of the world on his terms.
Not cowboy hats.
Michael, what is America's greatest gift?
Optimism.
I mean, think about it for a second. What is our greatest gift to our people? I mean, is it baseball? Is it our national park system? Is it that we don't, we have running water in 99% of the residences in this country? What is our greatest enduring gift to ourselves, but to the world? What are we giving the world that we can say, I'm proud of this? Nobody else could have delivered this to the world. I tend to think it's our national park system. That is the greatest thing that we've done. as a country.
Which Trump tried to put his face on the tickets and the brochures and everything.
Oh yes, he's
Had
trying to put it on there's a passport already being printed with his picture on it.
The courts had to stop the picturization of the printed material and the identifying signs and visual impact of the national park system. Get his face off of it and keep it off. He's got nothing to do with the great outdoors, nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an egotist. He is a narcissist. It's sad.
And he's a pathological mess.
Yeah, it's the saddest thing that you'll see. As sad as other presidents were, I don't know if there was anybody ever this sad. This whatever you want to call it.
The entire list of American presidents. There's a couple dogs in there, but nothing like this. Nothing ever existed like this.
Nothing approached this guy, and there was some scandalous people. And then when you add in the fact that he has enriched himself and his family and his cronies to a degree never seen before.
Liar and a thief.
Yet, the average person has seen their cost of living go up. You know, even the despots that ran this country made sure that the average person got something. You know, they got something. They got clean streets. They got this. They got that. The whole trick of being a despot is to make sure that the people have something. Don't be such a pig that you take it all.
Breadcrumbs.
And they're not even ashamed of it. They're not ashamed that they've made so much money that it's obscene while he's been president in this term. It's sickening.
It does make the nation sick. It does create an illness that can't be denied.
Well, it makes it tough for you to feel about this nation that it just makes it tougher for you to feel love for this nation when it starts to make you feel hopeless. It starts to make you feel like you've gone backwards.
And it seems that nobody can stop him.
Forward.
Occasionally the courts stop him, but for the most part, he's operating with impunity.
It's
how did we ever get so weak? How did we get so weak that we can't stop the president from being a despot?
Well, maybe some people thought that we wanted a strong leader, that we wanted somebody to lead us, but he's not a leader. He's never been a leader. He's a shame. He's an embarrassment. You know, people say, well, you know, he's from New York. No, the guy was an embarrassment in New York. He was an embarrassment from the time he was, 10 years old. His father was so embarrassed of him, he sent him to a boarding school. He didn't want him around. He didn't show up to his son's wedding.
And the people of New York know a bullshitter when they see one. And they saw one and they judged him years ago. He was never a hit in New York. He never could play by New York's rules. And as the song says, if he can make it here, he can make it anywhere. Well, you can't make it here, and you don't make it anywhere. You're a joke, a bad joke.
It's yeah. He is about as shameful as you can possibly get, and he's done nothing but embarrass the city of New York and embarrass this country. And I know I'll get people who will email me and send me
Well,
messages. Hang on.
you're
I
working now.
know I know that there will people who will send me messages and send me all sorts of stuff that that he's all right, he's a strong leader, he's this, he's that. He's not. And he has stolen something from us that I don't know that I felt until this weekend. He has stolen a piece of the pride we have in this country. He has stolen a piece of the thing that makes you want to go out and wave the flag and makes you want to go out and say this country takes care of. Springsteen wrote a song a few years ago. I forget which album. It's a few years old, called "We Take Care of Our Own," and he wrote it, I believe, when Obama was president, because you did feel like this country took care of many people. Many people. Not everybody. People have fallen through the cracks. But by and large, if you didn't have a pot to piss in, you could get food stamps. You could get rental assistance. You could get things. And it would keep you. Now, did people abuse the system? Yeah. When you're 65, you got Social Security, you got Medicare. And I mean, that was something that you paid into, but at least it was there for you. And now we run a country that the safe Social Security safety nets are disappearing. Medicare is being drawn back and is in danger of collapsing.
The Republicans have been dying to get their hands on.
Yeah. And the confidence in all of these things that this country stands for. The social safety net that made us different than many other countries. The disrespect for our older people. The non-valuing of our older people. And I guess I realize it more because I'm an older people now. But you realize it, the disrespect, the insanity. I mean, we should be taking care of old people. We're going to get a raise in our Social Security checks because inflation is so high right now that it goes on the cost of living, and the cost of living is through the roof. But there could have been things that Trump could have done, the president could have done, Congress could have done to change this stuff. But it hasn't been done. Congress has been too busy investigating this and doing that, and
Doing nothing, Ben. Doing nothing is what they've been doing. Congress has been doing nothing.
Nothing.
Just as they were directed to by Donald Trump.
And when Congress had a chance to make changes, the immigration, people forget that there was a solid immigration bill that had been hammered out by bipartisan in the last year of Biden's administration. But Trump
wouldn't sign
instructed them, don't vote on it. Thumbs down. Now, a bill comes along that will help people who want to buy homes.
Same thing.
One of the biggest threats in this country, Michael, is venture capitalists buying up single-family homes and driving up the market to make them unaffordable for first-time home buyers. It's not me. It's our kids that are trying to buy homes for the first time, and they're now unattainable because these scumbags have decided that we'll just buy all the single-family homes and we'll put ads in the paper saying, oh, you don't have to worry about anything. You just come and rent one of our houses.
And the tariffs that they instituted have driven up the price of cars to the point where it's a major purchase. It's like buying a house. By the way, Vinny, what are you driving?
Michael, I knew you were going to ask that.
I usually do on a Friday.
Because I know that that's something that you love to ask me at this time every week. And I'm going to tell you that I am driving one of the really coolest cars. And you know, it's kind of hard to say that when you're driving a Prius. But look at this car, Michael. This is the 2026 Prius Nightshade.
It's good.
I'm going to tell you, you know, people think Prius and they think that dowdy-looking car. You know, how dowdy is the Prius? Well, this is a car that I'm going to tell you. I was out photographing it this morning, and I had several people stop me and ask me what kind of car it was, if it was a sports car, if it was a Tesla, if it was anything but a Prius. And the look of shock of people when I told them what it was unbelievable. And it's just it's just a solid, good running car, good driving car, comfortable car, powerful car. This particular model gives you about 200 horsepower from a 2.0 liter four-cylinder plus a electric motor that you see there and a big battery.
It's a hybrid.
And it gets you going. It goes. It's fast. It's fun to drive, actually. When you put it in sport, it really turns into a car that's fun to drive. It gives you, I forget how many miles, but probably about 30 or 40 miles in all electric mode. You plug it in to the charger here. By the way, PCC gives you free charging when you're down there doing your shopping. You plug it in, you get it charged up, and you go more miles on battery. It's got a sunroof. It comes in all-wheel drive or two-wheel drive. I'm driving a two-wheel model here. And you get 52 miles per gallon, Michael.
Wow. And it looks like they've loosened up their gray look to include some more colors for the Prius line.
Yeah, this is an awesome-looking yellow. When they put the black on it, on the roof that you see here, and on the wheels and the upper part above the belt line, they turned it into, I mean, it was a great-looking car to begin with. Matter of fact, 2 years ago, I gave this my car of the year, the Prius. But they have taken the Prius and they have turned it into a car that nobody would be embarrassed to drive. You know, the Prius for a long time was a punchline to a joke. You know, it was a goof. No longer. This Prius has grown up. um, unmatched fuel economy, and unmatched comfort. And I'm not going to say it's a hot rod, but I'll tell you what, this Prius will go out there and beat a lot of the so-called sports coupes that are on the road that in a straight line drag race. This thing is quick, surprisingly quick. And you know what? It's like I believe this one is. It starts at $32,000. I think the Nightshade probably adds a few thousand to it, but this car is under $40,000. I think Toyota has built themselves a
A
winner
hit.
here, Michael.
Got a hit.
It's a hit. It's a car that again, I just think it's a ride that people when they if they're looking for economy, 52 miles a gallon, if they're looking to dip their feet in electric without going all the way in, which is the hybrid, if they're looking for something that's stylish, it's going to grab some attention, and they're looking at enough room that 5 people are going to fit in this car comfortably, plus a
Mhm.
bunch of luggage and stuff in the back. Toyota has come up with it. Toyota has really even to the point of Michael putting a little sporty spoiler on the back to give you that illusion of speed.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're going fast.
They
But
put the
that's what I'm driving this week, Michael. A winner. Just a great effort by Toyota. They really have their finger on the pulse of what Americans want in cars, from their sedans like this, the Prius, the hatchback, all the way up to the big SUVs like the Sequoia and the Land Rover, and all of these different cars that they've come up with, the Forerunner. Toyota just does a solid job of, there was one time when American car makers built cars that people wanted. Uh, I'm not saying that they don't do that anymore, but Toyota has been able to put their finger on that pulse and build cars that people want. Reliable, what people need at the moment, and stylish, efficient, and with a reputation of longevity. I mean, this is the kind of car you're going to put 150, 200,000 miles on it,
yeah.
and it
That is their reputation.
yeah, I mean, it's a solid reputation. I'm happy I get a chance to drive this car this week.
We'll
It's
hear more about it tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I trust.
11 o'clock on drive time. We'll have this. We'll talk about the American car industry. We'll talk about some of the great American automotive inventions. We'll talk about the great mother road, Route 66, which is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, and a bunch of other stuff. We'll talk a little bit about Canada, and there's a new there's something that Trump has come up with to replace NAFTA. So
Great, great.
yeah, so
I'm
we'll
sure. I'm
talk.
sure it'll be a smashing failure.
Yeah, it just seems like we're going to go through another problem here, because I think we have to realize that we are part of a global economy, and
Forgot
the
how to play ball.
yeah, we got to learn how to play with others, and because the Chinese, the Koreans, the Europe, the EU, they're not going away. The Japanese, they're not going away.
They're figuring out how to do it without us.
Yeah, and when you look at this experiment that the Canadians have come up with, when they're going to let so many cars into the country, the Chinese cars into the country, I'm here to tell you the people up there are excited about those cars coming in. And they're not like crappy cars, they're good cars. And that's, I think it's 29,000 that they're letting in. That's 29,000 cars that American car companies, that Japanese, that Korean car companies are not going to sell in Canada. They're looking for a deal, and the Chinese are going to come in there with a deal. Now, is it going to be fair? Probably not, because the Chinese, I think, are definitely going to subsidize those cars.
Still below cost.
But we were subsidizing cars here up until Trump took office. Here, I forget the number. I think it was 10%, 12%, something like that. Before, when they still had the tax credits on electric cars. Now, it's down to a single digit, 4 or 5%. In Europe, it's 23% of their cars sold are electric vehicles. 23%, a quarter almost, of their cars sold are electric. And it's going up because the price of gas is going up, because they're actually legitimately concerned about global warming. There are scientists that say that if it were not for global warming, we wouldn't have the heat wave that we're having going on around the country right now. That this is a direct effect of climate change.
Seattle is warmer than San Francisco this week.
101 degrees. 101 degrees in New York. 107 in Philadelphia at game time yesterday. I was watching the Pirates play the Phillies. So it's pretty interesting. But you know what? I think my motto for our 250th anniversary is America, I love you, but get your head out of your ass.
Get it together. Get your act together.
Get it together. Let this country be as great as it can be. Let this country take care of its people. Let this country give us some things to be proud of again. And not lies, and not enriching the rich. Spread it around. Make people not have to hurt when they go to the grocery store. Make people not have to decide whether they're going to pay a medical bill or feed their kids. Come up with some things that are going to help this country. Don't be so obsessed with the fact that you lost an election 6 years ago.
Well, none of those things can be done by this administration. They are unable to execute the duties of the stewards of power. They can't do it. They're worried about their own profits. They're worried about their own egos. They're worried about their own pathological view of the world, and they're not going to change it. It's just getting worse. It's getting more intense. It's getting more a daily part of our existence, and it's got to be cut out like cancer. It's got to go. It's got to be taken apart and never put back together again. We need to forget this period of time, which we can't do, but we have to fix the damage that's been done, and it's going to take the next administration, the first 4 years at least, to start put the pieces back together correctly.
We need to elect somebody as president who is a leader.
Fixer.
to elect somebody as president who is going to preach togetherness instead of divisiveness. But we also need to take it upon ourselves to be kinder, to be nicer to people, to have more understanding.
And you better have the votes because you can't do much without them. And we've seen that. We've seen the Democrats absolutely unable to answer the bell.
You know,
And the Republicans don't have to do anything. They've got the votes, so they can just shut down all forms of government. All forms of fixing are sidelined. And we owe the system of government we have little respect. And
well, our
put together
okay.
put together the effort that can be sustained with the votes. Got to have the votes to get it done, and right now we don't have them.
Well, the president is doing what he can to interfere in the midterms. They are afraid. They are afraid that they are going to lose the midterms big time.
And Trump's legacy will be that he fucked it up and we took the government back in spite of him. And he can't bear that story being attached to his name and his legacy.
Right.
That in spite of the government and in spite of Trump and in spite of Cash Patel and these fascist FBI, the average American voter said, "You're out, all of you." And we're putting in a bunch of new guys whose job it is to fix it.
Mike, yeah, just before we go, I want to, a couple of things. Before we go, I want to correct something I said. I said that the Prius had 200 horsepower. The 2.0 liter four-cylinder with the electric motor generates 150 horsepower. But believe you me, it's all you need in this car. it's plenty fast with 150 horsepower. I also want to wish a happy birthday to my beautiful daughter, who is
Happy birthday, Aaron.
Born on July 4th. As a matter of fact, it is that odd cycle where her birthday is on 4th of July and my birthday is on Labor Day. So we bookend the summer. Imagine that.
Very good.
And to everybody that listens to us, listen, you know what you're listening to. You know who you are. You know that I don't have to tell you to be kind to your neighbors and so on and so forth. But to me, being American has always been being compassionate, being powerful, but using that power for good. I call it the Superman doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have great power, and you're supposed to use that power. It's not just a requirement; it's incumbent upon you to use that power to make life better for people, to make things better for people.
To help those inflicted with strife.
Yeah, to help the people that are the lesser among us, that don't have what we have. We've been very lucky in our lives. You go around, you look at people in places like West Virginia and Kentucky and Tennessee and places, Alabama and Louisiana, and you just see poverty that's like a third world country. I'm not saying just dump money on them, but good God, there should be some kind of help.
And the level of ignorance is intolerable. It can't be sustained.
You can't have help if you don't have education. You can't tell people to help themselves if you can't put them in a position to help themselves. And by that, I always think it means education. It means nutrition. It means giving people the best opportunity to make something out of themselves, not to rig the system against them. So that's it, Michael. What are you doing this weekend?
I'm trying to decide if we're going to go to the parade or the fireworks display. And I'm inclined to do the fireworks display, which is at night, because I don't want to get up early and go to the parade and have to park and stand there while kids from the high school walk by.
All right.
So that's the flip the coin. We'll see which one we go to, and that's how we do it here.
Well,
in
have you
Pasadena.
practiced? Have you practiced for the fireworks?
Ooh,
Ooh. Ah.
yeah.
Ooh. Ah. All right, Mikey. Listen. Happy birthday, America, the 250th. Peace. I'll see you Monday if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. Peace, love, and Manischewitz, pal.
Little Manischewitz for the 4th of July.
Let's jump into the summer with both guns ablazing.
True. Let's get this thing turned around. The ship of state must be turned around.
Mikey, take care of yourself, man.
Great hat, Vin.
Thanks.
The rest of the day.
I was going for my 4th of July chapeau.
And have a good show tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. See you on Monday. And everybody, have a good time. Be safe. And talk to you on Monday. Thanks, Mike.
Don't hold on to the M80. I told you to put it down.
Let it go.
See ya.
Mikey.